This has got to be the most eventful earnings call we've had in a while. Tons of announcements and things a lot of you probably should be aware of for the third quarter. So first and foremost, Tesla is for a one-time only going to be allowing full self-driving to transfer between vehicles. They've never enabled this before. We've been asking about it for months and months and months, and now they're finally going to enable it, but it's a limited time only. So you need to order a new Tesla within the third quarter, and I'm assuming that also means take delivery, before the end of September in order to get FSD to transfer from your old Tesla to your new one, but it's just a one-time thing. At least that's what they're claiming. They said they're never going to allow this again, and it does suck for those of you that maybe had FSD on an older Tesla and then you just took delivery of a Tesla earlier this year, or you took delivery in years prior and you were hoping for an FSD transfer. Sadly, this seems to be a demand lever for them. It's a way to encourage you to buy a Tesla now so that FSD can be transferred. But in my opinion, that's still an incredible deal. There's some people who bought FSD for like $3,000, $4,000 back in 2016 or 2017. And now those people, if you feel like buying a new Tesla this quarter, now you can get that same software package, which Tesla is charging $15,000 for on a vehicle today. And if you buy a Model Y, it's going to have hardware 4. You're getting a lot of money for that initial $3,000 investment way back when. So just something to be aware of. And the next bit of news, which is very exciting, is that Tesla said they have been approached by an OEM, a major one, about licensing full self-driving to other vehicles, so not just Teslas. I have so many questions about that. Like, first of all, who is it? Who do you guys think is going to be licensing FSD from Tesla? Most people are saying Ford. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess just because Ford was the first to adopt NACS of the major automakers. But the truth is, Ford has spent so much time and money on their Blue Cruise. Yes, they've spent a lot of money on that thing. For them to just throw all that out and say, okay, we're going to just use Tesla's full self-driving now anyway. I don't know, that doesn't sound right to me. My guess is it's a major automaker that doesn't have much of a self-driving software package yet, so that's why I don't think it's GM. They're boasting a lot about Super Cruise and how that's going to work and how it's hands-free and everything. Tesla's FSD, at least right now, is not hands-free. So I would guess it's either going to be like a Mercedes or a VW, someone who doesn't really have a very great or well-known self-driving system in place. But the reason they probably don't want to talk about it or announce it yet is because in order for full self-driving to work, you need the Tesla full self-driving computer. So that's the exciting thing about this announcement, is it means that Tesla, in the process of licensing FSD, is also going to be selling that full self-driving computer to other OEMs. So maybe a future generation of the Mercedes EQS or the VW ID4 is actually going to physically have a Tesla-designed full self-driving computer chip on the inside. And then my next question is, like, how does the pricing structure for that work? Does the VW owners or the Mercedes owners, do they have to pay $200 a month to access FSD, or do they have to pay $15,000, or does Mercedes, who's selling high-priced luxury cars, do they say, actually, all of our EVs come with full self-driving for free, but if you buy a Tesla, you gotta spend $15,000 to access it? I don't know, there's so many revenue avenues Tesla can pull through, and I'm excited to know that there is a non-Tesla in the works that'll have access to the same self-driving technology. That's probably great for that other OEM too, because they'll likely end up ditching radar and the ultrasonic sensors and just go all in on an 8-camera system. I don't believe that if Tesla licenses FSD, they could incorporate for other people's LiDAR or 15-camera systems. Like, the code just doesn't work that way, which means there's another non-Tesla in development out there from a major OEM that is rocking 8 cameras and that's it. So the idea of a non-Tesla rocking the full self-driving code is really interesting to me, and I can't wait to see how they're going to implement it, how that's going to work. But that's enough talk about full self-driving. Let's talk about what you came for, the Cybertruck. This is where potentially some of the bad news comes in for me. So in previous earnings calls and in previous shareholder decks, Tesla has referenced delivering Cybertrucks in mid-2023. So that's why a lot of us were assuming, around the summer, June, July, August, that's when we'd get Cybertruck deliveries. But on the shareholder deck, while there was some amazing new photographs of the Cybertruck in testing, they do clarify that so far Giga Texas has only built RC builds. They have not started production-ready Cybertrucks, and they didn't give us any pricing or range figures. They just reiterated that this is a very complex vehicle. It's not like any other vehicle they've ever tested before, and it will be a record breaker in many ways. They said this is the first truck that is under 19 feet that has an over 6-foot bed and 4 full-size doors for the cabin. It's an amazing vehicle, but based on their wording, they said deliveries will start later this year, and they're no longer saying that deliveries will start in Q3. Now, even Elon is saying that deliveries will start later this year, which in my opinion means probably late this year. I don't think deliveries will be in September, I'm afraid. My guess is, from a poetic standpoint, Cybertruck deliveries will be on the exact same day that they did the Cybertruck unveil back in 2019, which was November 21st. That's how they played it up with the whole Blade Runner aesthetic, and because of all the botched demos, they ended up taking down that Cybertruck event, even though it was kind of cool. So I think they'll try to recreate the Cybertruck event, but it will also be a specs reveal and a delivery event, but it's probably going to be late November, maybe later if testing and validation doesn't go as smoothly as they had hoped. But they also repeated that Cybertruck production would ramp very, very slowly because it's a brand new vehicle architecture. They've never manufactured a vehicle like this before, so I don't think they're sandbagging. I don't think Cybertruck's going to be ready in the next couple months, I'm afraid. But we did get at least a little bit of new Cybertruck specs thanks to Drew Baglino, who is amazing, the chief of Tesla's battery engineering, and in my opinion, he should be the CEO of the company. I think Drew is amazing. He gave us some information that was super valuable to me, which is that the Cybertruck is using a different type of 4680 cell from the cells from the all-wheel drive Model Y. So that means I was wrong. I was predicting the Cybertruck would have the same cells as the Model Y all-wheel drive, but he officially deemed it as the CyberCell, which he claims is 10% more energy dense than the existing 4680 cells they've been putting in the Model Y. So not quite an insane energy dense improvement that a lot of people were hoping for in order to unlock that 500-mile range Cybertruck, but 10% is pretty good. That pretty much puts it online with the energy density of the 2170 cells that they use in the Model Y. That points to the idea that the Cybertruck will have decent weight and decent range, but I'm still predicting around 350 miles. I haven't swayed from my Cybertruck prediction specs yet, but knowing that they're using higher energy dense cells points to the idea that the Cybertruck might be lighter than some people are thinking and might have better range than some people are speculating. Still not enough information for us to really know how many cells they're putting in the pack, but fascinating to know that some vehicles are going to get 4680s with higher energy density than others, likely due to the size of the vehicle and the price of the vehicle. So I'm still expecting the Cybertruck is probably going to be expensive at first and work its way down as they ramp up production, and that deliveries aren't going to be until the fourth quarter, best case scenario. Maybe it gets pushed till next year if things really don't go too well, but Tesla's margins are a little bit down and their cash flow is still very positive. They have a ton of cash in the bank. The margins are just lower, I think, because they've been lowering prices across all kinds of jurisdictions, and more of the vehicles they've delivered are coming from factories that are in startup mode, so nothing really that impressive from the financials, in my opinion. Nothing out of the ordinary. Tesla's still profitable. Tesla still has positive cash flow. They're doing great. They're doing fine. I'm very proud to be a shareholder. I don't care about what the short-term stock price does. More interested in the long-term success, which has never looked brighter. But oh yes, that's one more thing I almost forgot. Tesla mentioned in Q3 they expect production numbers to go down a little bit due to factory upgrades. I'm pretty sure that's Tesla directly acknowledging that Project Highland is in effect, and they're going to be performing those factory upgrades to refresh the Model 3 in the third quarter, which probably means we're not going to see Project Highland before September. At best case scenario, I think they'll probably unveil it in the fourth quarter. But yes, expect production numbers to be lower in Q3 because of those upgrades. Model 3 assembly lines are going to be down for a little bit, and I think that's why we should expect Project Highland to be just around the corner, and that's probably also why they're temporarily letting you transfer FSD within the third quarter, because that's how they get a bunch of people to buy the old Model 3 before it's been refreshed, and they get a nice little demand spike from that. So Project Highland just around the corner, Cybertruck as well. Q4 sounds exciting. There's so much going on at Tesla in the fourth quarter. FSD is going to be licensed to other OEMs and transferable for the remainder of this quarter. So much new and exciting stuff in today's event. Let me know if there's other things in the earnings call that I missed that were also exciting to you down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. Have an excellent rest of your day.